Oh, hi there. I didn't see you come in. Say, I was just about to give a 20 to 25-minute presentation on Taoism. Would you like to learn a little, or are you trapped by a potentially homicidal teacher and forced to watch presentation after presentation, sitting quietly and hoping he doesn't see you? Well, either way, I'm guessing that you're still here. So let's just get started, shall we? So at around 550 BC, a man named Lao Tzu was believed to write a book called the Tao Te Ching. There is some doubt that Lao actually existed, but that's history for you, and the Tao Te Ching was very real and attributed to him. Soon, and by that I mean around the 2nd century AD, Taoism really started up as an organized religion. The person responsible for all of this was Zhang Daoling, claiming Lao Tzu had appeared to him in 142. He formed the Tianxi school, Tianxi meaning celestial masters. Throughout the years, Taoism experienced rises and falls. It became an official religion during the Tang dynasty, maybe because the Tangs claimed to be Lao Tzu's descendants. Taoism did well in Song and Ming dynasties, but not so great when the Yang and Qing dynasties came along. During the nationalist period, it suffered with all of the other religions. Under the People's Republic of China, it was originally suppressed by communism, but lately it has been undergoing a revival. It is now one of the 5 religions that the People's Republic of China will recognize. In the West, Taoism has also been undergoing growth, being first introduced by Henry the Sparrow and Michael Fassel around 1930. I personally think Taoism is really neat.
Hey there, Tree. What you doing there? Are you giving a little presentation on a popular Chinese religion there?
Yes.
Oh, okay. See, that's funny there. You wouldn't happen to know anything about my scheduled presentation on Confucianism now, would you, Tree?
Oh, were you going to give a presentation? I didn't mean to step on any toes.
Damn fighting words, Tree.
Okay. Calm down, Owl. Why don't you just give your history for a bit, and then I can go for a while?
You just watch yourself, Tree. You just watch yourself. All right, enough of that. It's my turn now. Let's dive into the world of Confucianism. Okay. It all started with a man named Kongzi, who was a Chinese thinker. Kongzi's ideas really only became popular after his death and are recorded in the Lanyu, or Analects, one of Confucianism's religious texts. His belief was in the Tao, or Way, which was a concept shared by all early Chinese thinkers and is more closely attributed to the Taoist religion. Most of his ideas, which are stated and described in the Lanyu, are of Tian, or heaven, which for ancient Chinese was regarded more as a deity than a place to go in the afterlife, along with politics and morality. After Kongzi's death, Confucianism was finally established as an institution. Throughout the years, the Confucian followers went through and analyzed the ideas and practices, crossing their T's and dotting their I's, making sure they knew what it meant to be a follower of Confucianism. Well, the main principle of Taoism is to live in harmony with the Tao. The Tao means the way, or the path. Even though Taoism is a religion, it's a philosophy as well, maybe even more so. There is never actually any God mentioned. The religion is predicated on early Chinese beliefs, such as the respect for nature, living practically and in the now, and being the best possible person you can be. The religion is based on the Tao Te Ching, which describes how to be a model Taoist. It would be going too far to say Taoists worship nature, but to them it is definitely respected in a religious way. They believed in simplicity and pacifism, one of the main tenets being Wu Wei, literally meaning without action. They believe in naturalness, being spontaneous.
Ham and cheese, 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 ham and cheese. Ham ham and cheese, 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 and ham and cheese, and ham and cheese. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. See you out. Peace.
Without greed or human desire. They believe in living in the now and not worrying about the future in a non-practical way. Of course, the main tenet of Taoism is to follow the Tao, or path. In Taoism, the Tao is everything you should be and everything that already is. It is not seen as a deity, but it can be seen as a power. It has been described as the flow of the universe. I quote the famed philosopher Ben K. Nobi when I say, "It is an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us and penetrates us. It binds the galaxy together." I am only assuming he is talking about the Tao, as I have never read his book, A New Hope, but I am told it is very good.
My turn, 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 my turn.
You know, you aren't exactly giving Confucianism a good mascot.
Compassion. Confucius, along with many other people in religions, believed in the golden rule, that one should treat others as one would like to be treated. He taught that everyone should treat each other equally and that the rulers should treat their people with justice or risk losing the mandate of heaven, which is a person's divine right to rule. In return, the people were to follow those rulers who were given the mandate of heaven. Ritual. The teachings of Confucius stress that ritual in daily life should be used as a template for the ideal social norm. He stated, "Respectfulness without the rights becomes laborious bustle. Carefulness without the rights becomes timidity. Boldness without the rights becomes insubordination, and straightforwardness without the rights becomes rudeness." Ritual showed how people interacted with each other and gave rules of politeness and behavior. In some ways, Confucius's ideal of ritual can be compared to a system of manners. Filial piety. According to Confucius, children owed a duty of loyalty and respect to their parents. By example, this concept was extended to other family and social relationships, which are called the five bonds. These bonds set out the duties and expectations as between the ruler and the ruled, or emperor and subject, father and son, husband and wife, elder brother to younger brother, and friend to friend. Within these relationships, or bonds, each person had specific responsibilities. In all relationships, the elders were highly respected. These duties and relationships also extended to the dead, which led to ancestor worship. Relationships. Related to the concept of filial piety is the idea that one's duties arise from one's relationship with others. Confucius stated, "There is government when the prince is prince, and the minister is minister, when the father is father, and the son is son." In other words, every person in this social group has certain responsibilities. The social order can only remain strong if each person carries out the role that they have been given and acts as such in his relations with others. Being a gentleman. Confucius taught men to be gentlemen, or perfect men, literally the Lord's child, and to avoid being a small person. A gentleman was not petty, greedy, superficial, or materialistic. A gentleman acted as a moral guide for society by 1. Keeping himself moral, 2. Showing filial piety and loyalty where these are called for, and 3. Helping humanity. Rectification of names. Confucius believed that the only way to restore and keep social order was to deal with reality as it was. He stated, "If names be not correct, language is not in accordance with the truth of things. If language be not in accordance with the truth of things, affairs cannot be carried on to success." Thus it was called for to use correct terminology in government and social interactions. Too many words, obscure language, or indirect words were to be avoided at all costs. Governance. In order to rule, the king should first govern himself and be the calm center around which the kingdom revolves. Meritocracy. Confucius's emphasis on scholarly study as the key to self-improvement influenced the idea that rulers and higher-ups should keep their position based on merit and not birthright. This is one of the most influential pieces of Confucianism. By encouraging literacy and study, Confucius contributed to the creation of competent imperial bureaucracy, admission to which was only given by success in the imperial examinations.
The Tao Te Ching is the scripture of Taoism. It is believed to be written by Lao Tzu in 550 BC, and the oldest copy we have is from 200 BC. The oldest usable one is from 280. All of the concepts that make up Taoism can be found in the Tao Te Ching, so I thought it might be best if I read you a couple of excerpts. A good one to start with might be this. Every being in the universe is an expression of the Tao. It springs into existence, unconscious, perfect, free, takes on a physical body, lets circumstance complete it. That is why every being spontaneously honors the Tao. The Tao Te Ching tells of the perfect values and ways of being, demonstrating understanding and compromise. Like this. The Tao gives birth to one gives birth to two gives birth to three gives birth to all things. All things have their backs to the female and stand facing the male. When male and female combine, all things achieve harmony. Ordinary men hate solitude, but the master makes use of it, embracing his aloneness, realizing he is one with the whole universe. You can also see the principles of being natural in the Tao Te Ching. It is difficult to define without actually hearing it, so look at this. The master does nothing, yet he leaves nothing undone. The ordinary man is always doing things, yet many more are left to be done. The kind man does something, yet something remains undone. The just man does something and leaves many things to be done. The moral man does something, and when no one responds, he rolls up his sleeves and uses force. When the Tao is lost, there is goodness. When goodness is lost, there is morality. When morality is lost, there is ritual. Ritual is the husk of true faith, the beginning of chaos. Therefore, the master concerns himself with the depths and not the surface, with the fruit and not the flower. He has no will of his own. He dwells in reality and lets all illusions go. These are just a few of the statements in the Tao Te Ching, but I feel that they sum up the nature of it fairly well. Now let me hand the show over to Owl before he explodes.
The Confucians possessed a book called the Analects, which they used as scripture. The Analects are the collected teachings and thoughts of Confucius. They also contain the conversations of Chinese thinkers and their students. The book was written between 479 BCE and 221 BCE. The entire thing took about 30 to 50 years to write. The chapters are grouped by themes and were written by many different people. Some statements from the Analects include, everything has beauty, but not everyone can see it. He who knows and knows that he knows is a wise man. Follow him. He who knows not and knows that he knows not is a fool. Shun him. And true wisdom is knowing that you don't know. These are just few quotes from over 20 chapters of stories on Confucian tenets.
The impact that Taoism has had on the world has been quite big, with China being the largest recipient of said impact. China and people all over the world have adopted the simplistic approach to life and relaxed nature that Taoism teaches. Some of the largest impacts Taoism has had on the world happen to be things that most people recognize, like yin and yang, which originated in the Taoist religion, along with lesser-known ideas such as the practicing of Qigong, a Taoist breathing technique, which, paired with acupuncture, becomes one of the most important forms of therapy in China.
Last but not least is the impact Confucianism has had on the world. Confucianism's biggest impact is China, but it wasn't always so. Confucius was ahead of his time and was mourned by only a small group of followers at his death, but as time went on, his ideals became increasingly popular. Nowadays, people follow Confucian ideas all over the world. People everywhere follow basic Confucian ideals without even knowing it. We've all been taught the golden rule and to be courteous to our elders. Some of these practices are just basic human ideals.
Oh, well, howdy there. I was just sitting here and thinking about some things and those guys talking over there. And, that made me think. And you know what that made me think about? That made me think about ham and cheese, my favorite philosophy. Yes. Because ham and cheese is very similar in many types of ways to those two religions, Confucianism and Taoism. Now, let me explain. They're similar, but not the same. And they're both kind of neat, And so I was thinking that I could, compare the two. So, both of the ideas are ancient styles of living, and that's pretty neat. And they both originated around 550 BCE in China. And both of them are philosophies that don't mind having more than one religion involved. And, both of them are partially Buddhist sometimes, And, both of them are often associated with Buddhism. And so, let's take a little look at them, Now, it's easy to think of these two philosophies as the same, just like you think of ham and cheese is the same thing. Cham. But, they're pretty different as well, also like ham and cheese. If you haven't thought of together, but actually very different. Now let's take a look at the differences. First, the goals are different. Confucianism is more sort of structured and built around a society of sorts, while Taoism, it's more in tune with nature and things and stuff. And now, the scriptures that they study, the Tao Te Ching and the Analects of Confucius, are both practical words of wisdom, I suppose. Both of them made by the kind of origin guy, the first one. And now Confucianists mostly believe in one god, while Taoists worship many gods. And Confucianists usually believe that people should respect those who are superior to them, and place a lot of importance on the structure of society and the brotherhood of humanity and fun stuff and woo! But Taoists believe they are more centered on the balance of the Tao, or the way. The focus is placed on the individualism of the body and nature in order to gain balance in life. Good stuff. So, I thought I might share that with you. Seal out! Police!